Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the President's Oval. Excuse me, sorry. Zoom. All right. You can go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday evening. I'm going to be your moderator for tonight. So I'm a 2020 to 2021 STOP intern. So my other involvement includes I'm president of Supply Chain Aggies currently. I'm a member of Beta Gamma Sigma Business Honor Society, and I'm also an SGA senator for the College of Business. And so now we're going to go into our introductions for the rest of the presidents on the call tonight.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dallas Cooks. I am a graduating senior, and I am president of Manners, Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences, and I'm also the president of Aggie Toastmasters.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully you all can hear me. My name is Charles Cheatwood. I am a senior biomedical engineering student with a minor in applied mathematics, and I currently serve as the president of the Biomedical Engineering Society.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Francis. I am a computer science major. I'm a senior, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm the president of the Caribbean Student Association, where we seek all members that are Caribbean descendants, or if you're Caribbean origin, to join our club.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Asia Hill, and I'm currently serving as the president of the Council of Presidents. COP is the body that governs and advocates for all student organizations on campus. And that's how we see all of these great student orgs and student org leaders.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Rashad Colvin. I currently serve as the president of Men on the Move, and I am a graduating senior business management student from Pittsburgh, PA. And Men on the Move is just an all-male organization catered to the male students on campus, improving areas such as community leadership, uplift, and brotherhood.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Legetta Jones. I am a senior information technology major hailing from Charlotte, North Carolina. And this year I have the pleasure of serving as the president for the NCAT Collegiate Chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. And basically we stand for anything with social justice, community outreach, education. We're in the knowledge of getting to know our community and our campus as well within the NAACP's values and standards. So.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sharice Jones, and I am serving as your NAPS president. NAPS stands for Natural and Proud Sisters. I'm also a business marketing major. What NAPS does is we aim to create safe spaces for all those in the natural hair community. And we just aim to help everyone try to find themselves and figure out what it is that you can do with your natural hair.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paige Michaels, and I am a junior computer engineering student, and I serve as the president of the Society of Women Engineers. We have a super long introduction as to who we are, but basically we're just an organization of women and men who come together to provide mentorship, support, and experience at a professional and personal level, just targeting growth.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Caldwell, a graduating senior political science student from Greensboro, North Carolina. And I have the pleasure of serving as the Student Government Association president for this school year. SGA is essentially the governing body on campus, and we're all things student advocacy, and we serve as a liaison between higher administration and the students.
Thank you all. So as a first question, and some of you kind of answered this question a little bit already, but we want you all to tell us about your organization in under 30 seconds. So kind of a challenge. And if you've already kind of explained your organization, maybe tell us a little bit more. And Brittany, you're gonna be our first one.
Okay. So basically what I said, student advocacy. So I'm trying to think. So Lauren is a senator. So your senators, each college has senators and they meet regularly with the dean of your college and they can advocate for things that you all think need to be changed or amended or added to your curriculum or anything like that. And I meet regularly with Chancellor Martin and his cabinet and people who make decisions on behalf of the university. So like I said, just making sure students have representation and a voice at the table. I also sit on the university's board of trustees. So that's like, you know, bigger picture things. Yeah.
So a little bit more about SWE. We have, so there's this huge group of women in engineering, and women are a historically underrepresented aspect of engineering. So we kind of just seek to provide that community for you guys or for them through mentorship programs. We have intern programs that allow you to get a little bit more information and insight on our e-board if you have a desire to lead. And then we also have a lot of strong corporate partnerships. And through that, we have internships that get offered. We talk a lot about professional growth and just what it means to be a young professional. So interviewing skills, help with resumes, things like that. And then we also just have kind of a safe space for things like cool downs after we have this super long week of classes. So that's really what we are. It's just a community of men and women that just are there to support each other.
So NAPS aims to just embrace everyone's natural selves. Through these last couple of years, it's been sort of this movement of coming out and wearing your fros, wearing your natural hair, no makeups, and we just try to give everyone a safe space to sort of just be free and embrace each and every one. Even men, I know we're called natural and proud sisters, but men have hair too. Men have curly hair too. So we just embrace everybody.
So basically, the mission of the NAACP is just to basically secure and provide political, educational, social, and economic equality within African American people within the United States and outside the United States as well. So our mission within the NCAT NAACP is to basically be an outlet between the organization and students on campus. So voter registration rights, especially that was definitely big during this past election, making sure that people are knowing what's going on within the community, make sure they know that they can have a stand within things that are not of a justice towards African American people, such as we saw the riots happening this past year, well, this last past year and everything of that nature. So our organization just basically has the stance with the NAACP for our campus here at North Carolina A&T.
Once again, like I said, I'm president of Men on the Move, and Men on the Move is the only all-male special interest organization on the campus of A&T, and we do our best to help male students in participating in community service, providing opportunities where they can develop in leadership and personal development. We do our best to uplift and help others that are interested in our group and create a sense of brotherhood in our group as well for anyone that's interested in joining and being a part of our organization.
So like I mentioned, the Council of Presidents is a governing body, but we also hold programs for leadership development. We try to get other people who aren't currently student leaders involved in student organizations. One of the biggest pushes that we've had to do that was our internship program, which we luckily got Lauren as one of our interns. We have some other interns on the call, Darren Rippey too, and they represent different organizations and bring their perspectives to the table so that we can come back to our full body, who are the presidents and vice presidents of all student organizations, and advocate and assist where necessary.
CSA essentially provides a home away from home for Caribbean descendants and people just wanting to learn more about the Caribbean. Let's say after college, you plan on moving to the Caribbean and getting a job and you want to learn how it is there, what the culture is, then you might join CSA. We also try to share our culture with the student body by participating in events. To say if you're having like anything that involves dance, we bring our own traditional dances. We also try to have fellowship time amongst our members so that, they could fellowship people that's like them, might have same type of taste in foods, might know places around Greensboro where they can find stuff that feels like at home.
So the goal of the Biomedical Engineering Society is to basically provide exposure and expansion of knowledge within the field of engineering, specifically catered towards healthcare or the medical field, basically to learn different routes and opportunities that may be available within biomedical engineering or other areas and disciplines of engineering that may not be exposed within the A&T engineering curriculum.
Toastmasters, I'll start with that first. Toastmasters is a public speaking organization on campus. We pride ourselves in allowing our members to practice their public speaking skills and get comfortable with that, and also get a little bit of leadership experience within our meetings. And Manners, Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences is an organization that promotes academic advancement and professional development. We pride ourselves in making sure our members feel like a family. And in the corporate world, African Americans are the minority when it comes to agriculture. So we try to make our students feel as comfortable as possible in our space so that when they get out into the world and realize that everyone doesn't look like them, they feel confident and they're able to put their best feet forward.
All right, thank you all. So for our next question, how did you become involved in the organization that you lead now?
I can start. Um, Basically, I joined as a member my freshman year. Obviously, my major is biomedical engineering, so I sort of joined to learn a little bit more about what we can do and like different opportunities, and just to know different people within my major. And then one thing that I really liked, which is why I continue to be a member, is the community service opportunities presented, how they were closely related to opportunities within the field as well. So that was one thing that I really liked. And yeah, to answer your question, been a member since my freshman year.
I can go next. I actually found out about SWE. I went to the org fair and I was actually looking for more information on NSBE. But I did see the SWE table. I was a freshman and I was just I was told that you're supposed to join an organization that focuses on your major or a profession, and then like a fun organization. So I was just kind of exploring, but I had only known of NSBE as the engineering org. Um, so I had a friend that was like, we have to go to a SWE meeting. I went to a SWE meeting and I really kind of fell in love with the organization, especially at A&T. I liked it wasn't super big. There are a lot of girls or women in SWE, but it's not, you never kind of just feel like another person. We just there was always this pride in knowing each person there, and just helping to really just care about each person. And to me, that kind of really sold me on the organization. And I've been with SWE in different leadership roles ever since joining freshman year.
I can go next. I've been in NAP since I was a freshman as well. And I joined because I had a friend who was already in the org and she was about 2 years above me. And she raved about NAPS and what they had going on, what kind of programs they did. And that sort of really interested me. And I just really grew to love it, especially when we were in person and we did community service events, just having fun with other members. And it's really a sisterhood. And it was really a good chance for me to bond with other girls that, you know, you really don't run across on campus as much. So yeah, like I've been in this org since I was a freshman, and I've kind of moved up since then in the e-board.
I'll go next. So for me, my major is agribusiness and food industry management. And when my freshman year, everyone told me that was the first organization I had to join. I didn't know what Manners was. I was like, why am I joining an organization called Manners? But once I learned more about it and went to the first meeting, I could see myself being a leader in the organization. And lo and behold, there were other people in the organization that could see me being a leader too. So once I joined, I was able to move up, and I was, historian and then vice president, and then I was able to become president. So that's my story.
Awesome.
I guess.
Okay,
I
go
guess
ahead.
I'll go next, just to get my experience. I really learned about Men on the Move through mutual friends and always just hanging out and about on campus and just hearing good things about the organization. Like, yo, Shaw, you should join Men on the Move. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So I just gave it a shot, and I just started attending general body meetings. And I found out that a lot of my mutual friends, just around campus, were a part of this organization. So I just started being consistent, going about the meetings and attending community service events. And I got to know the e-board, and they became great brothers of mine. And I rose through the e-board as starting out as vice president, and then now I'm currently here as president. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all. So in addition to the organization that you're representing tonight, are you involved in any other orgs on campus? And like, how has that experience been, and how did you get involved with those other organizations?
I can start this question. So I am a part of actually a lot of other organizations on campus. I am a member, a Spring 20 initiate to Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as I'm a dancer within Couture Productions. I am vice president for Queen City Aggies, and I'm also a mentor within the Sisters LLC on campus. So, and I'm also part of a lot of organizations off campus. Personally, for me, I love to keep myself involved. I love being busy. I don't like dull moments. If you know me, you know I'm always working on something. So that kind of keeps me together. The balance can be tricky when it comes to, especially being in 3 e-boards. I'm in 3 e-boards, so being within 3 e-board positions can be very hard. But honestly, just the joy of having, like, each of them brings something different. Like NAACP might bring something to me, but Couture, I love to dance. Like, it's other things. They all bring a value into my life that makes me push harder each and every day. So that's why I'm a part of so much. If you can't handle it though, you gotta do organization and time management. But
I can go ahead. Since this kind of factors in, I was introduced to COP while I was the president of PRISM, and I joined PRISM, the LGBT organization on campus, because I am LGBT. And while I was the president, I was coming to COP meetings. I was also the president. I was also the secretary at the time for a different organization, Verge Modeling Troupe. And I was asking a lot of questions to Ms. Shantia, and she was like Dallas said, somebody else saw leadership in me, and she wanted me to be the treasurer. And that was the day of elections. And she was like, okay, well, go ahead and do a little speech. So Ms. Shantia got me into COP, but it was my leadership too. And yeah.
Thank you. So if you could give your freshman self any advice, and it sounds like a lot of you kind of got involved with some organizations or knew about them your freshman year, but if you could give your freshman self any other advice about being involved on campus, what would that be?
I can take this one. When I was a freshman, I was just in band and I wasn't really involved on campus, or I didn't have time to be involved, but from becoming involved and realizing how much of, I guess, a community the school is, I didn't really get that from my freshman year. And being involved with like my hometown organizations like New Jersey, I meet people that's like me that goes to A&T, and that helps with like, let's say you need somebody to study with. You see someone at school that it makes you want to stay in school and be more familiar with the people that's there. So that would be my advice to myself. Join the club as well.
I'll go next. This is Brenda. If I could give my freshman self any advice, it would be to stop being scary. Kind of like Asia, other people see leadership in you, but I was so shy. Like I hated public speaking. I didn't want to do any of that. And here I am now. So I would say like step out of your comfort zone. And when people push you to do things, at least try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep doing it, but it could end up being something life-changing for you.
I'll go next. On the contrary of what Ms. Brenda said, I was actually natural and pretty good at public speaking. It just came natural to me. And I don't know, I would tell myself to stay on the path where you are now because I wouldn't change anything. And I'm so grateful for everything that I've done since freshman year because I went through so many changes I would never regret. And I appreciate all of the experience I have had, being an Aggie and going through this time as a college student. So yeah.
I can go next. I think if I were to tell I'm sorry, Sharice.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think if I were to tell myself, my freshman self, anything, it would just be to like live more in the moment. I think that a lot of times we get like super caught up in what are we doing after school, because college, it is only 4 years, and graduating is a huge, scary thing. But sometimes we get so caught up in that we don't focus on, like what's going on today. Or even in leadership positions, we just kind of get so caught up in what's next that we don't really sit and just say, well, wow, I just put on a really great program in a pandemic. And I think a lot of times that just like really clouds a lot of like the celebration and just really appreciating yourself and the big strides that you're making, or even the small strides, because all strides are important strides. So I think that I would just tell myself to just have a little bit more fun with everything, and just live a little bit more in the moment. Tomorrow will come. We don't have to stress about tomorrow. So let's just focus on today and just make today a good day.
I would tell myself to just try new things. When I was a freshman, that's kind of how I was. I didn't just stick with one org. I tried many different things. I was in orgs for my major, which I definitely recommend. I did the hometown orgs, and I did an org that really spoke about who I was as a person. So I guess not even just advice for myself as a freshman, but for other freshmen, just try different things. Your first initial org that you join might not be the org for you, and that's okay. Try different things and you'll find that avenue that really suits you.
I definitely agree with all those points, especially Brenda. I was very scary as well. So I wish I would have got, more leadership under my belt during my freshman year, but I agree with everyone. I just want to remind the attendees to use the Q&A feature if you have any questions. We're going to go into that a little bit later. I have about 2 or 3 more questions, and then we're going to go into that Q&A. So if you have a question, drop it in there. For the next question, how do you feel like your involvement at A&T has enhanced you and your experiences at the university?
I can get that one started. Like Brenda and Lauren, I was kind of shy as a freshman. The high school I went to, there were 400 of us total. So coming from such a small environment to something that is like exponentially larger was so like daunting to me. There's all these people, like how many friends am I supposed to have? How many orgs am I supposed to join? What is my GPA supposed to be? Like, I just was so stressed about everything that I didn't know if I wanted to just jump into everything or jump into nothing. So I was just super shy and I just kind of stayed back. But being in organizations and being involved on campus has allowed me to just blossom as a person and as a leader and meet so many people. In SWE alone, I've gotten internship opportunities, which as a student, as an engineering student, can be hard, especially, when you're still trying to figure out what you want to do. So to have those internship opportunities definitely has always helped, and I will always be grateful to SWE for that. And I think that another big piece about the involvement is the people that you meet. I was in my hometown org, Metro Aggies, shout out to the DMV, but and through there, I met so many people that I probably would have never met because they're outside of my major. And SWE is an engineering org, so I'm only going to meet fellow engineers, but being in Metro Aggies allowed me to meet people that are like business students and journalists and just everybody else. And it's like just that opportunity to relax and not have to worry about school. So I think that being involved on campus has just really pushed me. It's made me uncomfortable at times, which is always needed for growth. And it's just allowed me to appreciate who I am a little bit more as a person, and just be thankful for the experiences that I have at A&T.
Well, that was basically the best answer possible. But basically, I agree with everything. But also, one thing that I would also like to add is it really helped me with time management. So basically, being involved in different orgs as well really helped for me to understand, like to really balance out time and then hold myself accountable for going to meetings and then actually being involved. You don't want to just be a member that, pays dues and then doesn't show up to anything like that. Like, or me personally, I had the belief to where I actually wanted to be involved, go to community service opportunities, attend general body meetings, and actually get to meet different people. So just also holding myself accountable. That was one thing that I definitely learned. And then now, even in a leadership position, I'm pretty sure all of us on the call can relate, especially in the pandemic, just time management of scheduling e-board meetings and then general body meetings and then having time to meet with your advisor and everything like that. And then making sure you have time to meet COP deadlines and everything. So time management is definitely a big thing that I've learned and that I'm thankful for via being in an organization.
I'll go next. My involvement on campus has definitely helped me get exposed to different things outside of the university and in the university. I've been able to have 2 internships through being in manners. And sometimes with manners being on your resume in the field of agriculture, that'll get you an internship alone. Like being at A&T and being in manners will get you an internship alone. And one thing I will say about my involvement is definitely taught me how to work with other people who have different personality types. Definitely because I'm a strong personality. We can talk, we can have a conversation. I'm not really nervous when it comes to talking to people. You might see me reserved at first, but then, I'll warm up to you. But it definitely taught me to be patient with those people who aren't as, outspoken, people who are more willing to just, do the work and not really say much. And it definitely taught me to just be balanced, like everyone else said, with other organizations and school and trying to prepare for after college. It definitely helped me to be a more balanced and well-rounded student. And I've been able to get employment. I'm also a student building manager at the Student Center. So, being involved at A&T has just helped me learn a lot of new people and just experience things that I'm going to cherish for a lifetime.
Great, thank you, everyone. How did your involvement lead to your current presidency? I know for me, I was so willing, I wanted to get involved so bad, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you're gonna have to be president or VP, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I was gonna sign up for all that. And so, how did you get into your current presidency?
I'll go first on this one. At first, I was the mister for my organization, and my involvement was just community service and making sure that everybody had their hours in for the semester. But then afterward, when our president was about to leave and someone had to step up, nobody seemed to really want to, take the helm of doing things. And I saw that I could, take the position and continue on and try to, build CSA stronger, because at the moment I had like a vision of where I wanted CSA to go.
I'll go next. Oh, sorry. Who is going? Okay. So like I said, freshman year, very shy. So I was like, I'm just watch and see. SGA was not on my radar at all, like at all. And then sophomore year, I ran to be on the Student Judicial Council, and I didn't know at the time, but I was being groomed to run for president eventually. But still, I was like, I'm gonna just be behind the scenes. I'm gonna chill out. So the end of sophomore year, I ran for attorney general and did a lot of great work in that position. And then it was like, well, what's next? And I was like, are you sure? Like, is everyone positive? Like, we're sure we want me to do this. And everyone was like, it has to be you. Like, there's no other choice. So then I ran for president, and I've loved every role I've served in. But like I said, did not see myself here at all.
Very much emphasized. Very much emphasized.
Oh, I guess so.
I can kind of piggyback. Oh, my bad.
So for me, I was just a regular member. I wasn't involved in any e-work position. Then I joined to be secretary, and I became good friends with our former president. And I kind of saw how she ran things, and she was kind of building NAPS up from a past year. We weren't as popular as and known as we kind of are now. So she put in a lot of legwork to give me a good pedestal to bring NAPS to where it is today. And that really inspired me. And, everybody else on our e-board graduated, so it was nobody but me. So I kind of just took her legacy, I want to say, because she did a really amazing job and just built on that. And that's how I became the president.
I can kind of relate to all y'all, especially Brenda, because I was not looking to be president like at all. I was more so looking like vice president or something when I joined my first member. My first e-board position within the NAACP was secretary. And I thought our vice president was going to step up and be president for next year, but he said no. It's gonna be you. I said, excuse me, no, it's not. Because knowing me, I knew what came with just being president. It's not only that you're president of the NCAT NAACP, but you have NAACP meetings, youth and college NAACP meetings. Even though it's great and all, it's a lot that I was not trying to sign up for. But I'm grateful for the position, honestly. Doors have opened for my organization specifically, even throughout COVID-19 and everything. So, but like I said, I was not aiming to be the position. However, though, I am so thankful that I was placed in this position, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. So.
Can I chime in? Oh, okay. So I became the president of SWE. Freshman year, I interned under the vice president because I knew that the minute that I joined that I wanted to be on the e-board. I didn't know what, but I knew that I wanted to be on the e-board. And I'm the type of person where if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go for the best. So I was like, as an intern, we're going to intern with the top person that we can intern with. We're going to learn all that we can learn. So I interned with her. It was a great experience. I learned so much. And then the following year, I ran for treasurer. And in that position, I just kind of sat back and just watched and just really kind of learned. I stepped up to the plate in a lot of different areas. Like we have an intern team. I headed that committee. That's not something that the treasurer typically does. And then I also just had like a lot of other things going on. I was like, I'm going to plan this women's empowerment event. The treasurer, this is a great position, but we don't have that much to do. So in my free time, what else can I do? So I'm planning events. I'm just trying to get my hands involved in everything. And I'm getting a little bit closer with the president just so I can see what that role looks like. And so then elections came around and I said, I'm going to be president. And I prepared my speech and I won. Granted, I did not know every piece of this role. There are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that you never find out about until you're in the position. And they definitely could drive you away had I known it before. But like Legita said, I'm definitely grateful for, every experience. It's definitely allowed me to meet a lot of great people like you guys. I've gotten a lot closer with people like Charles and just working with collaborations and stuff like that. So I am grateful for it, and I always saw myself in this position. I just didn't, you never see the tiny details.
My just to add in, my experience was very similar to Paige's. When Ms. Shantia pulled me, it was for treasurer, and I'm an accounting student, so that was perfect for me. I love behind the scenes, do a spreadsheet and COSA committee and help student orgs get funding for things. But as the only freshman, I'm not freshman, as the only person who wasn't graduating on my board last year, I was like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I don't want to necessarily be the president. And then the president looked at me and was like, are you serious? So after that, it's kind of like that natural step in. But yeah, similarly, I'm glad that I accepted the role and have done what I've done and not tried to follow any kind of presidency, especially in the circumstances we're in. I feel like the circumstances actually kind of gave me my own view and vision for COP. And going in with that mindset really changed the whole game. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to be here, but didn't expect it.
It's funny how you said that, because that's something CJ would say. So I just wanted to say that. That's something
I
CJ.
was thinking I can hear CJ saying, really, Asia?
All right. So we're down to our last question. Audience, again, use the Q&A if you have a question. But for now, what has been your favorite experience thus far as president of a student organization at A&T?
I'll take this. All right, my favorite experience will have to be the fashion show. And it's my favorite experience because the dance team, like beforehand of working them and being at practices and making sure they got everything right, formations, moves, hand movements, feet, and seeing them perform and actually do a really great job, that was like very proud moment for me. So that's my greatest experience.
That was my greatest experience as treasurer of COP. I was so happy to put the fashion show together with the board.
I can go. I think that my greatest experience thus far has been when we won Organization of the Month. We don't have, super fun things like participating in the fashion show. But for us to have won Organization of the Month was like, it meant a lot to me because like I said before, as presidents, we're just always focused on what is next. What is the next flyer that has to be submitted to meet the deadline? What is our next event? Who needs to plan this? Who needs to focus on that? And it just, when's my next meeting? It all can just be so overwhelming. So when we won Organization of the Month, I was like, wow, we're doing something right. We see our e-board imperfections and we always see the bad. So when we won, I was like, wow, I'm doing something right. I don't know what it is, but something about what I'm doing is right. And let me just keep doing what I'm doing.
I can add. So one of the things that I really enjoyed is we have a 20-day challenge. That's something, and I definitely want to give a shout out to my vice president, Cynthia Churchwell. That's one thing that she originally brought up. And so basically we have a 20-day challenge, and it's for like mental health care and physical fitness. And so it's when we challenge our members we'll do like for the mental side of it, to take a break and watch 30 minutes of your favorite show, and then like check in, and it's sort of like a competition with our members. Or we'll have like for the fitness week to do 5 push-ups and like check in. And then like the fact that when we have stuff like that and allow our members to actually participate, in like the participation that we actually receive is like something really cool. Like this is just an idea that we just threw out there, and we didn't really know what it was going to be like, but the fact that we have heavy involvement and a lot of people do actually like it and want us to continue to do that is something that I really enjoyed. And yeah.
All Awesome. Thank you all. Actually, can I just add can I add an experience as a president? Okay. So coming in as a freshman, I was really interested in the supply chain org because, I didn't know a lot of people. It's already a small major. So I really wanted to get involved with that organization, but it was just kind of inactive and not much happening around it. And so honestly, one of my favorite experiences as far as being president of Supply Chain Aggies has just been just seeing it kind of, just building that foundation, seeing it come together finally, or having, whether it's our group chats or our events, even though, they're small right now and we didn't picture it during COVID or anything, just seeing like that foundation finally just start to come up and, all that starts to happen. It's a really good experience. And it's taught me a lot about hard work and effort and everything, but it has been really rewarding. So that's one of my favorite experiences as a president.
Lauren, can I add something into what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
SWE actually started out like that. Like one year we had 25 people, and then by the end of the year we had 100 something people. So cherish those small moments because they will be gone before you know it. And once you get big, you cannot go back. So cherish those small and foundational moments, and just like really appreciate that you helped do this. When supply chain goes big, just know I, Lauren Atkinson, played a part in this.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's see. We can give the attendees a few more seconds, see if they have any questions.
So yeah, the audience, this is the time. If you have any questions, feel free to ask about being a leader on campus, student life in a virtual environment, how and why to get involved. I know some of this has been touched on with our questions. How do student orgs and student leaders collaborate? I'm trying to think of something that might be helpful for the people.
Is it okay if I answer the question that was asked last? Because that seemed like an interesting question.
Yeah, sure.
As president, coming into a new role and everything, I would say this may sound a little unusual. I would say the thing or the experience that, I appreciated the most was actually the challenges of actually being a president in like an unusual environment. Being a president during COVID has made me think outside the box and made me be more innovative in my approach and figuring out my strategic plan in managing and also leading an organization, and just think of different solutions on how I could be impactful as well as effective for my members, and as well as other individuals or other male students that are interested in sharing information to campus of North Carolina A&T. So yeah, it was definitely like the challenge of being pushed and being challenged. That's what I would say.
That's also a great segue into one of the questions I just got asked. What is the most challenging part about running an organization?
Can I answer that? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. For me, I run 2 organizations. So it is definitely not for the weak and not for the, faint at heart. But I do my best to delegate. I'm a person who naturally, I just want to handle everything and just get it all done. But I had to learn how to trust my e-board members. And you actually have to learn how to, sometimes you just have to train them. Because I know as leaders, sometimes we just want to take the reins and keep control and just keep it pushing. But what I've definitely learned with managing 2 e-boards is that you have to train your team, and you just have to let go sometimes. And you have to just delegate, give instructions, be there when they need help or have suggestions or ideas of their own. But ultimately, you just have to manage your time well, be communicative, and lead by example, because you wouldn't want your your team doing anything that you wouldn't be able to do yourself. And that is just something that my parents instilled in me, my advisors have instilled in me. Just lead by example and make sure that your team knows that you're there for them and not just trying to, boss them around or tell them what to do. You want to be there with them in the midst of everything. So that's one of the hardest parts about being president of an organization, but it's also one of the most rewarding as well.
One thing I would say that can be one of the most challenging parts is when things actually don't go as planned. There have been many times where you might have something that you want happen and it doesn't happen, or you might aim for a certain amount of percentage increase on members. You got all these people come to your interest meeting, but then only 10 members really sign up, or 10 members actually get involved on a committee, or things of that nature. That honestly for me can be a downfall, only because it's like you're so excited for the people on campus and students and your members to come and be a part of it. And it's kind of like, especially now in COVID with doing Zooms, it's kind of like, oh man, we got all these members, but this is less than 75% of y'all really want to come to this event. So that can be very, very, very challenging. But like Dallas just said, like, you really have to push yourself. And you also have to learn the balance between, honestly, you really have to learn the balance between being president and also being a student and being a member as well. For me, I have a big e-board. I have 14 members on my e-board, including myself. So it's kind of like, yeah, I see Asia's face. Yeah, it's so many. So it's kind of like you having to find that balance. Like I agree with Dallas just said, like sometimes you're going to have to learn how to step back and let people take the lead. Maybe you just approve what they have done or things of that nature, but it's going to be definitely challenging. And that's going to, when both of those happen, it hurts, but you got to learn to pick yourself back up and keep going, because your ultimate goal is to make sure that your organization stays strong and ready for the next year.
I'll go next. I think something it may be very specific to SGA, but like, being the advocacy body for students. So I'm in meetings with administration and they'll tell me something, and then students are upset about something on Twitter. And it's like, relax everyone, like X, Y, and Z, like this is why they did this. And people like are really not trying to hear it. And it's like, it can be frustrating because I know y'all don't know because you weren't in the meeting that I was in. So trying to like convey that information to students in a way that you all see it, whether it's a Twitter thread or an Instagram poll or like a Q&A, like that can be so hard, but we really do try. And I understand, if you're not in those spaces, you have a right to be upset about something because you don't know, but like trying to balance that is very difficult, especially, with COVID, when we were doing the reopening plan. It's like, y'all aren't telling the students anything. So I have to tell them everything. And then they're coming at my neck. And I didn't even make the decision. Like,
I can definitely see the challenges, and oh girl, I can definitely see and understand. So we have a few more questions. This is a really good question. What is the most valuable piece of information you would give someone who wants to start their own org?
I'll answer this one. I would say your first step would be to talk to COP and make sure you get together a constitution. Also think longevity of your organization. You don't want to start something that's only going to last a year and then after that it's forgotten about. So think about longevity, have a plan together so that when you present the COP, they can help you and know what you need in order to move forward.
I think the most valuable piece of advice would just be to stick with it. A lot of times when you're starting or just like going back to the Constitution and stuff, that's not easy work. If they decline or deny your Constitution the first time around, or deny anything the first time around, it can be very like heartbreaking. But it's just important to just like stick with it. Like I said, we grew dramatically overnight. And that growth would have never happened if somebody gave up. So just keep going. You never know when your finish line is coming. You never know if tomorrow is going to be the day that you get your big break. So I would just say always stick with it. And, surround yourself with a group of people that'll push you to do that. So when you're thinking about who you want to start this organization with, make sure that there are people that are down for the hard work. Starting an org is not easy. Getting members is not easy in a pandemic, especially. People love in-person programming, but not virtual programming so much. So make sure that the people that you are working with are down for the dirty work. They are down for if the meeting happens and it's just y'all, they're okay with that. They're not gonna leave you there. Y'all are gonna wait. So just make sure that you stick with it and you surround yourself with people that are willing to stick with it too.
And I think a part of that is also seeing the need for your organization on campus. A lot of the applications that we have gotten in the past have been organizations that are adjacent to somebody else's, another organization that's on campus. And instead of splitting people up, we want to bring people together. And we understand you want to start your own organization too, but just being kind of cognizant of like, okay, these are people on campus who want to see me. I need to talk to them. I need to get that number to grow. Because we're not asking for you to have like 50 members or anything, but once you get on campus, there have to be people who consistently want to join your organization, want to commit to your organization, want to then be on your e-board next year when you're not here to convey the point that you had about your organization. Everyone has to buy into the vision that you have. So making it as accessible as possible would be my best piece of advice.
I agree. Just one question. How do you all prepare for a successful leadership transition for the next e-board that comes after you?
I'm priding myself on what SWE is doing. So we have a longevity committee, which is tasked with coming up with a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, and a 10-year plan for the org. It's not like super detailed because we can't see 5 years into the future, but just like, in 5 years, in a perfect world, not a pandemic, where do we want the org to be? How many members do we want to have? What types of programs do we want to have around? And that comes with a lot of like reflection on what we've done thus far this year, and even like in previous years. So what programs work for us? Does our mentor-mentee program work? Should we have should our career fair program, should that be a recurring event? And then we're also just preparing documents to pass down. I know a lot of times when e-boards enter in, it can just be kind of like, hey, welcome to your new position. You're the president, you're the vice president, you're the treasurer, figure it out. But a lot of times that leads to you're spending the first couple months trying to figure it out, instead of doing work that'll help advance the organization. So, calendars are supposed to be planned in advance. If I'm spending the first 3 months of my new position trying to figure out what it means to be the president, I can't plan this calendar out. And now we're falling behind with COP deadlines or other university guidelines. So we are prepping, I call them letters, but they're just pieces of advice that you have for whoever will follow after you. And that'll include important deadlines. We have a national office that we report to. So the letters will include the financial report is due on this day, the leadership roster is due on this day. If you need help, this is who you need to contact. And even just understanding, we have a lot of connections at a university level and a lot of people that we have to go through. So just writing down those people, because I spent 3, maybe 4 months just trying to figure out who to talk to. And that was a lot of wasted time. So just making sure that people understand, where to go, who to talk to, even just trying to understand when it comes to collaboration with other orgs. We don't have to be limited to the college that we're in. We can expand and we can collaborate with other people. So we're just writing everything down. And then we're going to put it all together in a Google folder that we will upload in our shared drive and pass down to the incoming e-board.
In transitioning, at first, I went with the previous president to the COP meetings so that I could get an idea of what my position would be. And then we also had a folder with documents for each position and, what entails what you need to do underneath that job. From being in an organization that had that type of structure to another one where it didn't have that structure at all, where I had to basically go talk to COP, go talk to this person to figure out, where our constitution is and how we were operating before. It is always good to leave back, notes and information so that next e-board can know, this was going on previous years. this is how much money they have. This happened when, just the history so that they catch up on things and not, as you said, falling behind, trying to figure out what happened before and why we're in this position now.
I was gonna go. Oh, sure. Brenda, did you want to go?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. For me, I was groomed for presidency. Like I was brought into our, at the time, advisor's office, and the current president said, "This is going to be your next president in 2 years." And so I was just kind of brought under the wings of the leadership and just brought on. I went to COP meetings. I was told to fill in different roles. I was a historian my sophomore year of manners. But I filled in different roles. I, played treasurer one week or did, secretary tasks the other week. And then being vice president, I was kind of able to see, improvements I could make from the past administration. And then what we shameless plug, we actually have a program on February 24th called Excelling on the E-Board. So we just want to be able to prepare our, our up and coming leaders. And I was, in manners, we were always taught, you have to, before you leave, you have to know who's replacing you. And that's in every position. So we make sure that we seek out those freshmen or those sophomores and just kind of bring them in. It's much harder now that, we can't go to Webb Hall or Carver Hall and just sit and have a conversation or go take them out to lunch or something. But we try to just keep everybody included in our meetings, try to make things a little bit more attractive to the freshmen and sophomores so that they can be included in, decision making. And we also thinking about having an internship program as well. But transition is very smooth for us because we also have an advisory board. So there's always someone to talk to. We have an advisor on paper, but they all work together under an advisory board to help coach us and groom us to be, the leaders that we can be at A&T and the leaders that we need to be once we graduate.
This is something that SGA has to do more so on the back end because, you could train someone and then they lose and it's like, it was all for nothing. So we have a transitional meeting after the new leaders are elected just to share the things you all talked about, like what to do in this position. But people often come in the position with their own ideas and, the platform they ran on. So it's sometimes hard to, you tell them what they should do and they do what they want to do. And, that's fine, but it is a little hard to like plan, for the future.
Thank you all for your answers and your insights, your experiences. I learned some things. I'm sure that we all learned a little bit about each other in our organizations. Thank all of you for coming and all of the attendees for coming. Please don't forget to connect with these organizations and all student organizations on 1891 Connect. That is our central platform. Every virtual event that Student Orgs hosts is there. Every form that you probably need to fill out for something, everything is on 1891 Connect. But also follow them on Instagram. That's where they're going to post their cute flyers. So please connect with us, connect with these organizations. It was a wonderful hearing from you all. If anybody has any other questions, you can drop them in the Q&A. But, go ahead, Lajeda.
I just wanted to mention it because just, for promotionals, the NCAT NAACP will be celebrating our Founders Week next week. So we have a week long of events. So stay tuned on our Instagram at NCAT NAACP for those events. And like it just said, they're on 1891 Connect. But I had to let y'all know before we left, just to plug us in there.
Anybody else? Any February events? Any February event?
We have a Valentine's-ish consent event on the 16th, and then we have an event talking about hair in the workplace and just maintaining hair on the 17th. And then after that, we'll be kicking off March with our very first Sweet Week.
NAPS is hosting a vision board party next Thursday on the 18th. which I think is going to be really fun. I see Asia. But yes, attend that. The details will be on 1891 Connect in our Instagram page, naps_NCAT. So see you guys there.
All right, thank you all. Plug for the organizations after this, but thank you all for attending, and I hope you all had something to take away from this event. And I hope you maybe even found an organization you want to join. So, for the organizations, please sign up for the fashion show, CSA at you. We want to record all your members, well, not all your members, at least 10 or less members on campus. And we'll be live streaming it on campus on April 7th. So hope you all get to join. I already know that Couture and all their sectors will be there. So looking for everybody else. Yes. We want to see Swee in McNair. We want to see Naps in all of your hairstyles. I know there's plenty of protective hairstyles for quarantine. I want to see all of Manners in your lab coats and on the farm. Men on the move. I want to see all them green ties. We're not playing with you. Yes. So go ahead, sign up for the fashion show. Thank you all for coming tonight. I really, really appreciate it. This has been a great event. Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice speaking with all of you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Are you good? It was nice speaking with all of you.
You too. You too.